A massive thank you to Seth, Gianmarco, Azaya, Fire and Hub for subscribing to the channel. If you're not featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 7 of season 2 of the F1 22 My Team Career Mode. Yesterday we returned for the duel in the Formula 1 crown. Yes, it's the Monaco Grand Prix, of course. If you missed out on the last video from Spain that went live yesterday, I would definitely recommend going back and checking it out. A massive thank you to all of you as well for helping us tick over 75,000 subscribers. We're well on our way towards 80k at the moment, so yeah, if you could help me get one step closer, it would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, last couple of races though have been rather interesting. We've finished P11 twice in the last 2 Grand Prix there. In my eyes, the worst position to finish a Formula 1 race. But yeah, this weekend though, heading back to Monaco, I'm hoping it's going to suit our car just a little bit more there. You can see Drivers' Championship wise, Hamilton now starting to build up a little bit of a gap over his teammate George Russell. Either of them would be leading the Constructors' Championship though. That's just how dominant Mercedes have been in the early stages of this campaign. They've only dropped 4 points off a theoretical maximum, if my maths hasn't failed me. There might have been 5 points even since the start of the year. We're currently still sat in P6 overall in the Constructors' Championship, just inside the top 10 as well in the Drivers' table. So doing pretty well at this early stage of the campaign. But fingers crossed, Monaco Grand Prix this weekend. We can try and have a good run of form. I just need to double check actually before we jump into it about engine. Don't think we'll need any penalties. No, of course we took the fresh engine back at Miami. So yeah, fingers crossed this weekend things can go our way. Well, here we are then, back on the Monaco streets once again. Like we said, we had a pretty decent run in the Spanish Grand Prix last weekend. I have also been reading there might be a little bit of a bug in qualifying at the moment on F1 22 where the AI is always improved so they go a tiny bit faster than you, which would explain, you know, why the likes of Oscar Piastri have been able to find more pace over the last couple of weekends there. So I think 1.07 patch is on the way quite soon. So maybe we won't have too many more races like this at the moment, but we'll wait and see. Of course, Monaco can often deliver a bit of a different result anyway, so fingers crossed this weekend we can just keep it clean and tidy, but we'll wait and see. Out of the final corner though, about to finish off my first practice run. Oh, 5 points off the purple score. Hey, there we go, second lap. We're just going to pick up 10 extra points, but that's enough to give us the purple score. Coming to the end of my first race sim run, you can just see out the final corner, we are just comfortably in the green. So fingers crossed, another good couple of laps, another purple score will be in the books. But we'll wait and see. So I really took a lot of curb out of turn 1. That's going to cost us as we head up the hill into Macedon. Around in the final corner then to complete my 3rd lap there. Oh, just up until that final corner, this was going to look like the easiest purple score I got. But a small mistake there, but still, we get the R&D that we need. And last but not least then, as we round the final corner of our tyre wear programme, that one's only going to be the green, but happy that we're comfortably under the delta. Let's get into qualifying then here from Monaco, one of the most important sessions of the year. Before we jump into that though, I just wanted to let you know of a brilliant competition going on hosted by Imperium Experiences. Have you ever wanted to attend the Italian Grand Prix? Yes, the home of Ferrari, the Temple of Speed, and of course the mighty Tifosi. Imperium Experiences are offering you the chance to win 2 tickets for the weekend and a 3-night stay at a 4-star hotel. All you have to do is enter their competition on their site linked down below in the description or my bio and you could be off out to Monza. The competition is limited to just 900 inches however and closes on the 6th of August, so make sure if you want to get involved to do it as soon as possible. Currently they're also offering an extra promotion where if you buy 2 entries you get a 3rd completely free, increasing your chances to win at an incredibly cheap price. They even have a handy guide on their site on how to enter, so I would definitely recommend checking it out, and a massive thank you to them for sponsoring this video. Right, well here we are then, back on Monaco, and if ever there was a race we needed to get out of Q1, this is certainly the one I think everyone would sensibly pick there, as yeah, not had a best run of form in recent qualifying sessions, but fingers crossed today we can try and up the pace just a little bit here. We've still had good race pace over the last few weekends, but yeah, just qualifying has kind of messed us around because we spent so much of the early laps having to fight our way back through the field. Mick Schumacher immediately sets a benchmark of a 12.5. We'll see how close we can get to that, but often the early laps in qualifying can be a little bit all over the show. The Sainz now a 12.3. There we go, Hamilton in the Mercedes with a representative of an 11.3 there, as we went purple through the middle sector. Not too sure how we managed that. Where is his first lap going to put us then? It's closing in on Pierre Gasly out of Anthony Noakes there. Big wobble as we try and put the power down, and that is going to be an 11.5 quicker than Lance Stroll and Carlos Sainz there. We'll take that, only 2/10 away from Lewis, but I'm sure the times will improve there as Ricciardo just goes a fraction faster. With a minute left on the clock then, is still sat in P13 at the moment, but we've been in this position before where we're safe heading into our final qualifying lap, and then loads of cars improve around me, so we definitely need to try and find a little bit more time here as we try and open up the run towards someone. That was basically as wide as we could have made it as we grazed the Armco on the way in, Felipe Massa style. As we head up through Massenet once again, that horrible understeer. If you just watch the car out a little bit too far on the way in, you can just see how much it costs you through the second part there. It's just trying to collect back up the front end once more as we tip our way through the hairpin. So far, this lap's not felt bad, but certainly hasn't felt particularly brilliant either. You know, you want to be expecting to see the pace coming down on your second run here. As nice traction as we head out in towards the tunnel there. We did get a really nice run through the chicane last time round, so we'll have to wait and see if we can get close to matching that. Though, you really want to try and grind the car over the inside curve, dropping a couple of tenths there, but if we're brave through the final sector of the lap, maybe we can try and claw some of that time back. It's again just trying to make the circuit as wide as possible. That just grazed the wall as we head down in towards the final corner. Oh, it's all getting a bit wrong towards the end of our qualifying lap here, but fingers crossed we've done enough to see ourselves through into Q2, up to the line. P14, we'll have it, we're into Q2. That's good enough for me. Well, there we go then, end of Q1. Lewis Hamilton sets a 1:10.5, so the pace was clearly getting faster and faster there. But I mean, yeah, we were only a couple of tenths away from Pierre Gasly there, so certainly feel like we have got some solid pace this weekend in the car. Any major surprises in Q1? Doesn't look like it. I guess Mick Schumacher probably a bit gutted, but yeah, there's no time at all between a whole host of cars here, so just getting one dialed in lap will make the difference. Right, well, immediately jumping in then to Q2. Tried to time my run a little bit better so we get a bit of free track space this time round, but yeah, Oscar Piastri I think was on about an 11.3 after the first run, so fingers crossed we can try and go at least somewhat similar to the pace my teammate has done. It's just about trying to get a lap dialed in is absolutely critical here, and just, you know, trying not to chase back too much time if you have a small slip up there. But this lap's felt a whole lot tidier so far. Oh, he says that as we just run horribly deep down into the chicane. That's going to be more front wing damage. Oh, I hate trying to drive this car on the limit. It's just so unpredictable with the low grip. I know it's realistic on F122, especially in the lower speed stuff, but it's just so unpredictable. Right, well, last ditch attempt then to see if we can make it through into Q3. We're going to need pretty much an 11 flat if we want any chance of making it through. So you can just see really chucking the car around the circuit now, trying to avoid the understeer still as best as possible. So weird how when you run really high wings on the F1 games, it seems to give you more understeer there, hence why I always run less front than rear wing, just because that seems to help the balance just a little bit. But yeah, K-Mag, I think, like I said, the man on the cusp at the moment in his Aston Martin. Of course, they are the team directly behind us in the championship battle. Final sector then going to have to be really, really brave. They're only down to one gear as we head through to back. Oh, a little bit of a lock-up on the way through the next chicane there. We dink the front wing once again, but hopefully won't cost us too much time there. It's all, again, the lap's just unfolding right towards the very end. They're out of the final quarter. Nice clean traction. Shortest run to the line. It's an 11.1. It's P8. We'll have that. Thank you very much there. We only just squeezed by. And what a result that was at the end of qualifying there. Snuck through by just 4/100ths of a second. I mean, Sergio Perez and Esteban Ocon qualifying behind me so far. I think it's going to be a miracle if we can get ahead of anyone else in Q3 there. But after so much disappointment in the last couple of weekends there, look at that. Five cars separated by half a tenth at the end of Q2 there. But now we've got to try and deliver in Q3. Let's get into it then. We'll only get one run. If we're any higher than 10th, I'm counting that as a victory. Right, like I said, we've only got one chance in Q3 here, but Esteban Ocon sat in P9, currently on a 1:10.8, so really not going to hold my breath that we're going to go any higher than P10 here. But so nice to finally be back into Q3 though, after so much disappointment on Saturdays in recent weeks. That took a bit too much curb through turn 1, but let's just wait and see what we can do on this final qualifying lap. There is again, we just try and tip it in. So difficult, you know, you just can't overdrive the car, it feels like, as much on F1 22, which I guess in many ways is a good thing, but trying to get a car on a knife edge around Monaco was always such a satisfying experience, of course. Yeah, the new car's much heavier as well, which certainly does them no favours. I mean, yeah, that's basically the lap ruined. Let's just, I mean, may as well do it nice and early on the lap rather than right towards the very end, but we'll keep it going nonetheless. There's just so much torque still, but yeah, these cars definitely feel a lot more sluggish than recent ones there, which that was quite nice still. Of course, we get a nice run over the curbing that time round. And that's what I mean, just big wash of understeer as we head through to back. Just trying to keep it tidy. We'll knock the front wing there, as we've done so in every qualifying session so far. We'll also drag it up against the Armco through Larascas at the final corner up towards the line. Is it going to be another 11? Yes, it is. It's only an 11.4, but I said we'll take it. Let's get into it then here for the Monaco Grand Prix. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1 mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than inches from the race-ending barriers. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Russell, Charles Leclerc and Ricciardo, Perez, Verstappen, Ocon and Mr. Monaco, Magnussen, Sainz, Lance Stroll and Oscar Piastri, Drugovich, Gasly, Mick Schumacher and Alex Albon, Tsunoda, Joe, Schwartzman and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Right, well here we are then, on the grid, ready for the Monaco Grand Prix, and McLaren drew the blood on Saturday, then a 1-2. Could they finally topple Mercedes properly at the start of this year? They're the only team to take points out of Mercedes just yet, but we'll have to wait and see what they can muster up today. As in terms of strategy, I want to try, I know we did it in the Haas Road to Glory a couple of weekends ago, I want to try and see if we can one-stop this mediums onto softs, because I think if we can get to lap 25, lap 26, that is certainly going to be possible here. But really, our battle today is with Esteban Ocon. I think if we can outscore him, you know, we got both McLarens, both Mercedes, both Ferraris, both Red Bulls. Those top 4 teams are so clear at this early stage of the championship. To be honest, I'm quite happy that we out-qualified Carlos Sainz in the end, because I really did just expect it to be the 5 teams scoring this weekend at Monaco. But yeah, like I said, if we can get a good start, get past Ocon, I really don't think we're going to be able to challenge the top 8 today. But we'll give it our best shot nonetheless. All we can really hope for is maybe a couple of them get bad reliability or something like that. But that's not why you compete in Formula 1. You know, we're making good gains with the car performance still. And yeah, starting inside the top 10 today certainly has given us a big boost of confidence. Yeah, I must admit, those top 6s at the start of the year certainly felt like a long time ago now. But yeah, like I said, if we can get back into the points today, that would be really, really nice here. As of course, got to try and build up temperature in the tyres. Really going to try and angle the car towards the right. Oh no.
Okay, that's not an
oh
ideal
no.
in your grid slot. You're going to need a good launch at the race start.
We just got to be a little bit too cheeky there on the grid, and that might make things very, very difficult to try and get the jump on Ocon down in towards turn 1 there. But Nicholas Latifi is going to line up at the rear of the field then, and then hopefully the 5 red lights will be on in just 1 second then. Ready on the grid for the Monaco Grand Prix, 5 red lights. And it is going to be a long hold, but lights out, and away we go. And actually, quite a good start there as we head down towards turn 1. We're going to send it to the inside of Ocon there. A little bit of contact with Max Verstappen. But K-Mag tried the same on me, and immediately then, we have done what I'd hoped for. They're 3 wide just in front of us, as I think that was Daniel Ricciardo. Used to rule these streets, apparently. Gets the jump on, must be George Russell, sorry, in the Mercedes there, as we're going to go even more aggressive up the inside of Max Verstappen. And there we go, up into P8 then, off the start of this Grand Prix. Can we try and get the second Red Bull of Sergio Perez? They weren't that much faster than us at the end of qualifying. There is the yellow flags out, as you always get on lap 1 here at Monaco. But yeah, much better start than I was anticipating then, when all is said and done. They're straight up into P8 of the Monaco Grand Prix. I mean, like I said, Verstappen's probably going to be a whole lot quicker than us today, but making those moves early on is absolutely essential here, as yeah, now we just need to try and settle down into a rhythm as we head through Sector 2 there towards the end of this opener lap. Both McLaren still at the front of the field. I think Bottas is still in the lead if my memory hasn't failed me, but we'll have to wait and see, as I'm sure we'll get confirmation in just 1 second. No, it is Lando Norris that leads the way then at the end of lap 1 here in Monaco. That's exactly what the young Brit would want, as he looks to try and end Mercedes' run of dominance. And what a place to take your first F1 victory here on the Monaco streets. Perez just starting to break free slightly early on in this race, but to be honest, I'm not going to worry about that all too much. I'd rather not sit in the wake of Checo still. It definitely seems to affect the tyres on F1 22 when you're still sat behind another car. So yeah, Checo, if you want to run away, I'm not too worried here. It's going to be a question of whether we can try and defend from Max Verstappen. Really has been a quiet start to the year that Red Bull certainly wouldn't have wanted. But yeah, look at that at the top. McLaren, they're certainly pulling away early on here. Maybe they started the race on a set of soft compound tyres, but McLaren have come out the gate swinging, as Hamilton can't seem to match them. The good thing early on is the fact Max Verstappen certainly isn't taking much time out of me or applying much pressure at all. And Esteban Ocon, gap's just opening up slightly to the Frenchman there, still sat just inside the top 10. I mean, it's going to be a long old year if we want to close up to Alpine, because they certainly have got a bit of an advantage. But yeah, races like this just build up the confidence, or hopefully they'll build up the confidence. We're only on lap 5. So hopefully means we can deliver a bit more. I certainly didn't expect to be in a Red Bull sandwich early on today, but we're not under still much pressure at all from Max Verstappen. And like I said, the gap to Ocon's going up. We can probably take that as a mini victory within itself. Tyre life is looking pretty decent still as well early on. Just going to have to monitor that today, because of course, yeah, I mean, if we are in the top 8, might not be much point in risking it onto a set of softs. So we may as well just try and play with everyone else. Of course, Monaco, we all know how difficult it is to overtake on this venue, so maybe just keeping it simple might be the way. Already trying to avoid allowing the mistakes to start creeping in this Grand Prix, but must admit, these tyres are not particularly great around Monaco. I don't know what it is about them, you just can't seem to find the consistency. You feel like you do the same thing every lap, and one time they'll be fine, the next time they just won't bite, or you'll get some oversteer on the exit. It's a bit strange. But, I mean, yeah, still we're not having to push too hard to stay where we're at. It's not like I feel like I've had to do 10 qualifying laps up to now in the Grand Prix, but it is just, yeah, trying to keep Verstappen at arm's length. He certainly hasn't, like I said, been pressurising us, and you can see Ocon back is still falling away. So we definitely have got decent pace, but yeah, it's just odd. Well, we did pick up the DRS on Sergio Perez that time round, but one thing we are definitely going to have to be careful here is actually on the fuel still. We are burning through a little bit more than I would expect to be early on here at Monaco. I mean, we've still got 0.9 laps extra, but yeah, I feel like we're getting through quite a bit of it. I can't remember how much I started with extra. It certainly was more than that. Yeah, not 100% sure how I feel about that one, Mark, but one thing I have learned, talking about the fuel and the battery, the more ERS I use, the more fuel I seem to use as well at the same time. Not too sure if it's just my driving style changes. But yeah, well, I'm trying to save ERS, we don't use as much fuel. So, it seems a bit counterintuitive, rather weirdly, but a little bit of a slide there. But yeah, I guess if we want to try and save some fuel for a few more laps, the trick is just not to use any ERS. Of course they say that now, as soon as I'm now worried about the fuel and learning something about it. But 1/3 race distance, like I said, I'm probably going to box within the next few laps. We might just wait till Piastri's come in because I don't want to screw my teammate. Yeah, last couple of laps we have started definitely to struggle just a little bit more. But that lap was actually pretty tidy once again there. Oscar 13 seconds back, so if we did pit on the same lap, theoretically it shouldn't ruin him, but it probably still would, this being F122. Don't know how the game still can't sort of process doing a double stack, but don't want to be neutral through there. We're just, yeah, still just trying to get a few more laps towards the pit window, but what is the tyre wear looking like actually out of interest? 50% on the rear, I can definitely feel that. Wouldn't really want to take these tyres another 10 laps, I don't think. Oh, there we go. Handful of cars into the pit lane. Lando Norris. We are going to be very, very close to Lando Norris on the way out there. Don't really want to try and get in his way particularly today. As yeah, he has run a fantastic start with McLaren, but Oscar Piastri hasn't dived it in, so it looks like we're going to have to go to the end of lap 19 then before we can likely pit in. You can just see how much those cold tyres still struggle on the McLaren there, as he's going to drop back towards me. We've got yellow flags out though. Someone's got issues. I think that might be Kevin Magnussen in his Aston Martin. Ran a really good qualifying session yesterday, but it might all just waste away from him at the halfway stage here. Kevin Magnussen out, but no safety car. That's rather interesting. Kevin Magnussen out of the Grand Prix, and that puts Piastri up now into P9. But yeah, Piastri going to box the end of this one, I would have thought. We're going to come in one lap later. Has Verstappen got a jump on a Ferrari? There we go. Everyone else into the pit lane is going to be close between Bottas and Lando on exit there. But looks like Lando Norris is going to re-inherit the lead of the Grand Prix. And we're actually going to get ahead of Bottas. Albeit it is only going to be for the one lap there as Oscar Piastri into the pits. But yeah, I think... Yeah, look at that. I think one of the Ferraris must have had a slow pit stop there, because the Red Bull is now right all over the back of them. And yeah, I mean, Perez... Oh no, sorry, Perez is still a little way behind there. Must have been an Alfa Romeo I'd seen, but yeah, up in P4 for a brief moment as Mercedes trying to go long. They're on hard tyres there, so Mercedes, yeah, really trying something different. Are they going to try and go mediums to the end? So yeah, these tyres have definitely had enough though in this Grand Prix as we head down through the final couple of corners. Except just clip the outside wall there on the way into the pit lane. But where are we going to re-emerge then in this Grand Prix? It's either going to be ahead or behind of Verstappen. At the moment I'm starting to think it might just be behind him here as Optimal turn in to the box. Need to get a nice clean tidy stop if we want any chance.
Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate.
Oh no. I completely forgot we'd set it to softs. Oh no. We're going to have to really gun for it now then, because we're going to have to box again in about 10 laps time. And effectively, we've got to try and make up a pit stops margin on Max Verstappen and his Red Bull. I cannot believe we forgot to check that before we came into the pit lane there. I was so worried about the team not changing the front wing that I completely didn't even look at the tyres. And this might have really thrown a spanner in the works, unless, like I said, we can make up a pit stop on Esteban Ocon and Fernando Alonso. I mean, at least this way, it might mean we're one of the fastest cars on the circuit to go purple through Sector 2, but I mean, yeah, Esteban Ocon, 8 seconds behind us. Surely that gap's got to be up to at least sort of 11 or 12 before we pit again. I mean, there's no way we can take these tyres to the end. Those mediums are well and truly had enough there, and there's no way we can take a set of softs just as far. I mean, I guess it's a good thing that the gap to Ocon is going up as quickly as it is, but we need to really get around Sergio Perez here as soon as possible, and not really too sure where we're going to overtake the Red Bull. Of course, one of the fastest cars down the straights in F1. I know that's not a particularly relevant thing at Monaco, but it certainly makes things a whole lot more difficult. This team want us to pit again lap 25. I'm definitely going to lap 30, and I'm definitely going on a fresh set, well, an almost fresh set of softs again. But we need to get past Sergio if we want any chance. I mean, at the moment, there is just no way they're going to be able to move past Sergio here. Luckily, we're kind of giving him the hurry up, as Hamilton and Russell now trading fastest laps. They're going to try and close up to the McLarens, but not convinced they're going to be able to do anything before the end of the Grand Prix. But yeah, Sergio's certainly too fast to navigate at the moment. Like I said, though, we're giving him a hurry up. He's actually pulling away from Verstappen slightly, and all three of us are certainly pulling away from Ocon. But it might just be worth coming in a couple of laps early, maybe sort of the end of 28, just so we get a little bit of extra clear air there. But I'm worried if we do that, we might come out behind Fernando. Very, very difficult times in the Monaco Grand Prix here. Strategy is always turned on its head at this venue. Whoa! Sergio Perez! Suddenly the engine has gone up in the Red Bull there. And I mean, we're just being showered in smoke at the moment. But Sergio Perez out of the Monaco Grand Prix there very, very late on in the afternoon. And that's a little even more heartbreaking for us, because if we'd been on the hards, we could have seen this right the way out to the checkered flag there. Sadly, again, no safety car, but I've just noticed as well we have actually picked up a little bit of front wing damage, so probably worth boxing now then in this Grand Prix there. Yeah, we've certainly picked up a fair chunk of front wing damage. Not too sure when we've done that, but yeah, going to box the end of this one then, as that's really not some great lines through the final few corners, but that might be why we've been struggling a little bit more over these last few laps there. What is the gap going to be to Esteban Ocon, though? We should be a long way ahead of Oscar Piastri in this GP, although saying that, of course, with the front wing change, we're going to be a bit further back. But yes, Sainz still down in what is now going to be 9th place, though, of the race. We need a clean, tidy stop, though, from the team, as Oscar Piastri sat in P11. Come on, get on with it. 8 seconds. Come on, go. We might be behind Oscar Piastri. Perhaps our teammate is going to be up into the points here at Monaco. Yes, he is. As we try and put the power down out of the pit lane. Can we still be alongside Felipe Drugovich? No. So it has all gone pear-shaped for us late on in the afternoon there. We might try and get the jump on Felipe again. I mean, a fresh set of hards versus a worn-in set of hard tyres, sorry. Fresh set of softs versus the hards. Surely we're going to have a big, big grip advantage over the Haas car. All over the back of Drugovich, though, as we head through the tunnel section. Are we going to be able to send it on the Haas? Look at that! The cheekiest move on F122 there. Had to commit. Had to make the move happen immediately there, as now we're going to be put in a very difficult position between more points for us or potentially Oscar Piastri's first F1 points here in the Monaco Grand Prix. But Lance Stroll's still separating ourselves from our teammate. I just cannot believe we've ended up so far behind the Alpines, though, in this Grand Prix there. Carlos Sainz, I mean, it was really Perez that saved them there, because we could have been a long way in front. But yeah, let's try and now get Lance Stroll, and then we might have a difficult choice to make. Even closer to Lance Stroll, though, just one lap later, as we're going to have a look up the inside of the Aston Martin there. And again, another cheeky move down at the chicane, and now up into P11 then of the Monaco Grand Prix. I feel what we're going to have to do is, if we can get the jump on Oscar, if we can't get up to Sainz in front, we'll give him back the place. If not, I still feel like it's got to be game on here. Because, I mean, Sainz, yeah, only 10 seconds up the road. That sounds like a big gap. But, of course, yeah, we are so much quicker than most of the other cars at the moment. A shame you can't get built-in team orders on F122, but that's effectively what we're doing at the moment, as we get all over the gearbox of our teammate Oscar Piastri. Like I said, if we can get close to Sainz by the end, if we can make the move work, then we'll have it. Otherwise, we will give Oscar Piastri back the place, because he has certainly ran a fair old race here to be what was up in the points. But yeah, despite making the overtake, we've still taken almost a second out of Sainz this lap. It's just just about trying to keep the tyres in good nick to the checkered flag. Well, 5 laps to go, and the gap is down to 6 seconds here, so we are still taking a fair chunk of time from Carlos Sainz up the road, but yeah, not convinced it's going to be enough by the end here. So it might on paper be a 10th to 11th place finish, which doesn't look great, but Oscar Piastri, like I said, he has done a very good job today to try and get himself close to those points, and I think it's fair that he deserves at least that 1 point on the board. But still, we'll keep pushing right until the end, and if not, then we'll let him by. Yeah, and 3 laps to go then. The gap to the cars in front has basically stagnated. I cannot believe we've thrown away what should have been a P7 today there. Just not checked the MFD when we absolutely should have. I mean, look at the front of the field. The top 3 now getting much, much closer to each other. Bottas, though, might not be able to find a way around his teammate Lando Norris, and I don't think Hamilton is really going to be able to do a lot there. But yeah, we need to make sure, of course, that Oscar Piastri gets a little bit closer to us by the final lap of this race. But yeah, you know what? Fair play to him, I keep saying it. He certainly deserves a point. Well, about to start the final lap then of the Monaco Grand Prix, and just coasting the car home now, hoping that Piastri can start taking a little bit more time out of me. But yeah, again, I mean, this time around, it certainly was our own wrongdoing that has cost us here in Monaco. But the big story today, Lando Norris and Valtteri Bottas for McLaren are gonna stop the Mercedes run of dominance in a fantastic way of doing it with a 1-2 finish here on the streets of Monaco. Lando Norris is finally going to be a Grand Prix winner here as he rounds out of the final corner up towards the start-finish line. Lando Norris wins the Monaco Grand Prix there. Valtteri Bottas in P2 is redemption for his Mercedes days there. Hamilton in P3, and now just maybe we'll have a title fight on our hands between the front runners there. I think it is going to be Daniel Ricciardo who drags his Ferrari to P4 there. George Russell in a Ferrari sandwich there at the end of the day with Charles Leclerc coming through for P6. But yeah, Max Verstappen, Ocon, Sainz, and then, well, as long as Piastri gets a little bit closer, we are going to let him by out of the final corner there. Just make sure we don't lose the place to Lance Stroll there. Like I said, I think Oscar certainly deserves the point today, and, you know, although we had a lot more pace, I think, you know, for us, we probably didn't deserve this point with the mistakes that we made there. As we head down in towards the Rascas here for the final time in the Monaco Grand Prix. We were very, very tight on fuel, actually, by the end as well there. But round in the final corner, Oscar Piastri is going to pick up his first points in Formula 1 here on the Monaco streets. That, I think, is teamwork.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
They've done it then. They've won here in Monaco with an emphatic performance and a victory they can be proud of for many years to come. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm very happy to see them there on that top step of the podium. Let's see how the drivers' standings have changed. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
It's got to be Lando Norris, hasn't it? Smooth, confident and assured. I've got no doubt that he and his team are going to be over the moon with his performance today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys, the end of the Monaco Grand Prix, and look at that, Lando Norris took the lead from his teammate Valtteri Bottas right at the start and never really looked back there. Only 1.7 seconds, though, separating the top three come the checkered flag there. But like we said, Ricciardo ahead of George Russell and Charles Leclerc, Verstappen, Ocon, Sainz, and yeah, Oscar Piastri. First points for him in Formula 1 there. Like I said, I think he certainly deserved that point at the end of the day there. Perez and K-Mag both not making it through to the checkered flag. That does mean championship-wise, Lando Norris now leapfrogs Charles Leclerc as well. But Hamilton's gap at the top still opening up slightly ahead of George Russell. That is probably a talking point that might go missed this weekend there. Sainz now gets down, relegated behind Daniel Ricciardo. The same can be said for Sergio Perez, as now Esteban Ocon jumps Kevin Magnussen further behind me. Look at that, Oscar Piastri finally now ahead of all the drivers still yet to score at the beginning of the year. That means constructors-wise, we're still in 6th at the moment. We do extend the gap to Aston Martin behind us by just 1 solitary point this weekend there. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will return very, very soon with round 8 of the year. We head back to Baku. Fingers crossed we can finally get more points on the board. I cannot keep finishing P11 in this championship. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.